This is CNC World, a new perspective.
Sunday marks the 100th anniversary of the sinking of Titanic. Many cities held memorial events on this day. Lifestyles takes you to Canada's Halifax, the nearest harbor city to Titanic's sinking location 100 years ago.
Halifax held a Titanic commemoration event in the Fairview Lawn Cemetery on Sunday, where 121 of the victims were buried. Children held roses over the 121 graves, each bearing the same date of death, April 15, 1912. Hundreds of people joined the memorial to remember those lost and paid their tribute to people who had the gruesome task of recovering bodies from the Atlantic Ocean. Scottish bagpipe and memorial songs moved all at presence.
It's wonderful to have people from all over the world come here and visit the sites and go back home and tell others about it, because it was a fantastic and very, very sad occasion 100 years ago. And I think a lot of people haven't appreciated the enormity of having that many people drown all at once.
Irvine's uncle, Albert, was the youngest crew member of Titanic. He was an electrical engineer who was responsible for maintaining the lights on the Titanic. Witness said the lights were on when Titanic went down.
When my dad, years ago, he was very sad about talking about Albert, his brother, big brother. And so I didn't learn an awful lot about Albert from my dad. But in years since then, my dad's dead now, but I've done some research and realized that he wasn't just a person who went down on the Titanic and that was that. He was a hero because he kept the lights on and may perhaps saved some lives of people who might have been saved in that 30 minutes or an hour that the ship was further up, kept up and with lights on.
Irvine moved to Halifax, the city with closest connection with Titanic years ago. He spent around 10 years in doing the research about Titanic, and he thought it was the best way to remember the history and pay tribute to the lost lives in the tragedy.
I think people are interested in what happened 100 years ago. The technology, the science, has improved an awful lot in the last few years, and so we've been able to answer some of the questions about not only the people who were on the Titanic, but the ship itself. We've had submarine visits to the ship.
Many people in Halifax have different stories related to Titanic. The city was the last city when received the signal from Titanic and then sent rescue ships. In all, 150 of those who perished in the disaster are buried in 3 different cemeteries in Halifax. Sunday marked the end of week-long events commemorating the journey of the ill-fated ship in the city.
This is CNC World, a new perspective.